So finally, today I'm gonna be rating all the overnumbers of Riftbound's first set. I then asked an artist to also make a list of the overnumbered cards, and I'm gonna look at the differences and similarities between the lists. Now, some cards have to be in D tier and some cards have to be in C tier, and some cards are in S tier, because that's how tier lists work. So please don't cancel me if your favorite overnumbered is down in the lower tiers, okay? Now, I have 3 rules for the ratings. Firstly, I'm gonna compare the original legend art with the overnumbered art. If the original legend art is very bad, it boosts up the value of the overnumbered art, at least in my opinion. Then another factor is the autograph. In some overnumbereds, I would rather have the card without the autograph, because sometimes the autograph just looks a little silly. And lastly, the originality of the overnumbered and just how cool it is. Does the overnumbered card do something different? Does it change the feeling of the champion? Or is it just the normal legend drawn a little bit differently?
Same, but different. But still same.
First we're gonna start with Volibear, and let's look at the Volibear art. The first thing you notice, at least I noticed, is that Volibear's original legend art is so bad. Like, I think Volibear's legend art is the worst of all of the legends right now. Volibear just looks like a white polar bear with extra steps here. It's just standing there looking like a normal bear, to be honest, with some icicles and accessories. Volibear is a demigod, and Volibear is like powerful and feared, and here he looks like a bear. In the overnumbered art, Volibear actually looks powerful and, a demigod. Volibear looks like something he's supposed to look like. That's why the overnumbered art is gonna get a lot of points, because the normal art looks so bad that, if I played Volibear, I would spend money on the overnumbered art, just because it's way better looking than the original art. And also the signature is pretty nice. It's slick, it's nothing crazy, but the signature is also pretty good. I would buy the overnumbered Volibear if I played Volibear. So Volibear is gonna go to S tier, just because how bad the normal Volibear is, that I would most definitely want the overnumbered Volibear. Now it's time for Jinx. And Jinx is a little bit of a sad case in my opinion, because I love Jinx. And Jinx legend is pretty cool actually. Like, it's nicely detailed. It's Jinx, the background is Jinx themed, and unlike in the Volibear, the background was just some orange color. The background is actually Jinx themed, and the legend is just nice. Unfortunately, the overnumbered is nothing crazy. The background is kind of similar in the overnumbered. It's just like a rough art style and, maybe a little bit cartoony JoJo's Bizarre Adventure giving a vibe. And the autograph is like pretty bad. So this overnumbered is something, I would play it, but I would not spend extra money on it. So Jinx is sadly gonna have to go to D tier, because there's nothing really different about the overnumbered. It's just like a different style Jinx. Nothing like else is going on here, to be honest. So Jinx is gonna go to D tier, and I love Jinx. Jinx is my favorite hero or legend, so it kinda sucks, but Then it's time for Lee Sin. First of all, Lee Sin's original legend art is pretty cool. It's Lee Sin, he's in a very Lee Sin pose, sitting down. And the overnumbered art, it's cool. The pose is unique, and the autograph is probably the coolest out of all the overnumbered cards. So the autograph is nice, and there's the Lee Sin's dragon kick signature dragon in the background. This would have been an S tier card if they made the dragon have more oomph. The dragon looks kinda stale. It looks a little bit brownish almost. The gold on the dragon could have been way more, bright and more gold. It's a little bit too stale and brownish, which loses a little bit of points. Also, I like the normal Lee Sin personally. The background is pretty ugly on the normal Lee Sin. So this is a card I could spend money on to play Lee Sin and have this overnumbered card, but it's not an S tier card. So it's gonna go to A tier for now. If the dragon was a little bit more, bright and more gold and looking more powerful in the background, it would have probably been an S tier card in my opinion. Then it's time for Ahri. Many people love this Ahri overnumbered, and I also like the overnumbered Ahri. It's not an S tier overnumbered though, in my opinion. First of all, the normal Ahri looks pretty cool. There's actually stuff going on in the background, like very fitting shapes for Ahri. And the art itself is just Ahri, There's nothing much going on, but it's also pretty cool. Like it's not amazing, but it's cool. The overnumbered, on the other hand, the art is very cool. I feel like this is something the Lee Sin went for, but I think the Ahri one landed a little bit better. The gold is pretty cool in the background, and I especially love the spirit ball, the Ahri's spirit ball ability, how it looks, the orb, and it's just cool. It's giving this Asian art style, which really fits Ahri, and the signature looks amazing. It really blends in the art. It's not like in your face, and it blends in the background, and the signature is just pretty cool. It's definitely a overnumbered I could spend money on, but I could still play with the normal Ahri. I think the normal Ahri is pretty cool, so I'm gonna put Ahri on top of A tier. Now it's time for Viktor, and Viktor is pretty cool, but the original art is also amazing. There's the Hextech stuff going on in the background, and I think Viktor's original art is the only legend art right now that's from a different view, like the camera is on top of Viktor, so there's a different viewpoint on the Viktor's art, and the original Viktor looks very cool. Also, I don't know why, but when I first saw this card, it took me like 2 seconds to figure out what's going on here, because the pose is pretty cool, the angle is pretty cool, but I think it's a little bit too zoomed in, because at first, when I saw this card, it took me like a second or two to understand what's going on. So I wish it was a little bit more zoomed out. Also, the Hextech thing in the background is pretty cool. I wish it would be more in the middle of the card, so I could see it more. And the white background actually fits the card very well. The autograph is nice, but I love the normal Viktor, so this is something I would be happy to have. Maybe buy it if it was cheap, the overnumbered, but I wouldn't spend a ton of money on the overnumbered. So I'm gonna put Viktor to B tier. Next, it's Darius. Now, okay, let's start with the normal Darius. Normal Darius, it's very basic. He's just sitting there, it's nothing crazy. And the background is pretty ugly in my opinion. But the overnumbered looks like a April Fool's skin. So it's a little interesting. The background is just white. But, this card could become popular just for being a meme. It's pretty funny. It's not cool, but it's funny. And the autograph is not that amazing. So this card, this is an April Fool's card, in my opinion. It's okay, but I could play with the normal Darius. I would be happy to have this, but I wouldn't buy this specifically. If I pulled the card, I would use it, but I wouldn't buy Darius. But I would still be happy to have it. So I'm gonna put Darius in the C. Now, let's go to Yasuo. First of all, the normal Yasuo is basic. It's okay. It's Yasuo, and the background has some nice shapes, which gives it plus points because some of these normal legends have very ugly backgrounds. So Yasuo has a pretty nice background, and Yasuo is just a very nice legend art. But the overnumbered, on the other hand, the autograph doesn't really fit the card, and I don't know what's going on with Yasuo's eyes. The art is pretty cool, the Yasuo is pretty cool, the sword looks cool. I think the artist made Yasuo's eyes these white eyes just for like cool points, because it doesn't make any sense lore wise or ability wise or in any cinematics. Yasuo doesn't have any of this effect in his eyes, this white effect. So it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, the white eyes. And I would have rather had this card with normal eyes, to be honest, because the white eyes are just a little silly because it doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna put Yasuo into C tier on top of Darius, because I mean the card is cool, but I wouldn't especially buy the card, in my opinion. Then it's time for Leona. Now this is pretty cool. Leona goes from this sun bright art to this gold and black art, which is a very cool change. Like it changes completely. The normal Leona is also like okay. This would be an easy S tier contender if the autograph wasn't so ugly. I mean, I would rather have the normal overnumbered than the autographed overnumbered. So that's why Leona is gonna go to A tier. I probably will buy the normal overnumbered, but I wouldn't buy the overnumbered autographed Leona. Then it's time for Misfortune. My biggest problem with Misfortune is that it's perfect in my opinion. It's such a cool art piece. The artist went for this realistic art, which looks very, very good. The artist did a very good job, and it looks amazing. On top of that, the autograph fits the card so well. Because there's these golden lines going on everywhere, the autograph kinda blends into the art and kinda even adds to the art. So the autograph is amazing. On top of that, the normal Misfortune is also very, very cool. I just like the normal Misfortune, and I think the overnumbered Misfortune is amazing. I would definitely buy this Misfortune, even if I didn't play Misfortune at all. It's just a cool art piece, and it's something I would buy even if I didn't use it. So Misfortune is gonna go the top of S tier. It's so cool. Next up is Sett. Now, comparing the normal Sett and the overnumbered Sett, they're both pretty equal, to be honest. The normal Sett is pretty cool. The background is kinda meh, but the normal Sett is pretty cool. And the overnumbered really doesn't do anything crazy. Just a orange background and a different art style Sett, which really doesn't add much. So, in my opinion, the overnumbered is just a little bit boring. The autograph is not that good, and in general, I wouldn't spend money on this Sett, and I could maybe see myself even using the original Sett rather than the overnumbered Sett, because I think the overnumbered Sett is almost a little more boring than the original Sett. Like here, you can see Sett charging up a punch. Here, Sett is just standing there, doing nothing. Sett is called Sett the Boss because he fights in the rings, in the underground fighting rings. So Sett could have been maybe fighting in some kind of a fighting pose, maybe bruised or just after a battle. So he would look like he was just finished with something, but right now he's kind of doing nothing. So Sett is, in my opinion, the laziest overnumbered art out of them all. Then it's time for my boy Teemo. I love Teemo, man. Yeah, Teemo has the, mushrooms in the background, which is very theme fitting. Teemo looks pretty cool. It's pretty detailed. And normal Teemo is pretty cool. The overnumbered is nothing crazy. If this art style was on any other legend, it wouldn't really fit. But this art style fits Teemo. I wish the background had something like a silhouette of a person that's stepping on a Teemo mushroom or something going on in the background. But overall, it's pretty cool. I could spend money on this Teemo. The original Teemo is also pretty cool, but this is something I would still probably spend money if I played a lot of Teemo. And the autograph actually fits the art pretty well because the autograph is not something that wants to be, slick and cool. It just fits Teemo. So Teemo is gonna go to B tier with Viktor. It's nothing crazy like Leona, Ahri, and etc. But I would still probably buy it. So if either of these legends had a very bad original art, they would be A tier. But both of these, I could see myself using the original art also. It's pretty cool. And lastly, it's Kaisa. It's Kaisa time. Now, the normal Kaisa is very cool. Like, she's in a cool pose. She looks like she's ready. And the background is pretty cool. It's not just one color. There's some shapes going on, etc. But the overnumbered art looks even better. The black background fits the overnumbered art so well because Kaisa is from Void. She could be in Void right now. She looks like she's fighting something. There's these Kaisa projectiles flying around. She's shooting from her hand, which is in a very cool pose. And she could be fighting something in the Void right now, and she just looks very cool. The autograph also fits the art very well. Just like in Misfortune, the autograph blends into the art and kinda even adds to the art because there's these other golden lines here and there. So the autograph really fits into the overnumbered art. So Kaisa is a very good art piece. It's very cool, and I think the normal Kaisa and the overnumbered are both very good looking. I would most definitely buy the normal Kaisa, and even I could see myself buying the autographed Kaisa. They're both a very good art piece. Kaisa's gonna go next to Misfortune. I think Misfortune is a little bit more original than Kaisa because Misfortune is the realistic art style. So I think they're both a good contender for the top spot. So this is my tier list. Sorry to those who maybe liked some of these cards, but yeah, this is my opinion on the overnumbered. If you have a different opinion, then you're wrong and I'm right. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I'm curious to see how differently did the actual artist put these cards. So today, our special guest is the artist Clate58. And I asked her to write down all the reasons for each card rating. So without further ado, let's see how her list looks like. Thank you. What an amazing editor I am. So let's start from the top without wasting any more time. On Ahri, she said, Ahri is a kitsune, and it's very fitting to draw Ahri in a traditional Japanese art style, and the autograph fits well. So she put Ahri on S tier, which is crazy that she put Ahri, in my opinion, it's crazy that she put Ahri on top of Kaisa, but she did say that she values originality the most. So yeah, the Japanese art style Ahri is pretty original out of all of these overnumbered. So it does make sense. So Misfortune, she said Misfortune has feeling and the lighting is very, very good and the autograph fits very well. And I mean, it's not a surprise that Misfortune was on the top of S tier. In my opinion, Misfortune was also the best, so nothing crazy there. Then the Kaisa. She said that the autograph fits very well in Kaisa, and the style is just very cool. She also commented that the lighting and composition are really good. Then why didn't she put Kaisa in S tier? Then it's time for Leona. Leona was very good looking and very original, but the autograph got big minus points. It was a little bit goofy, and that's why she is placed behind Kaisa. Yeah, I kinda agree with her, because the Leona autograph is pretty goofy. Like I said also that I would rather take the normal Leona over the autographed Leona, so it does make sense. So about Viktor, she said that the composition is very nice and the colors fit pretty well. She also said that from the art, you can really see that the artist used a lot of time on the card, which also gave Viktor a lot of plus points. She said that Teemo is pretty cool. Teemo is well put together and Teemo is cute. I mean, yeah, Teemo is pretty cute. She said that the Teemo is a little anime style, but it fits Teemo's theme, which is true in my opinion also. The art style fits Teemo pretty well. So she said that Darius is a little silly, but the render is really good, and you can tell that the artist actually put a lot of time into making the Darius art. As an artist, she saw that the Darius art actually had a lot of time put into it, but me as a consumer, I wouldn't even notice that. So this also changes my opinion on Darius a little bit, because I just thought that the Darius is kind of a joke. So about Volibear, she said that Volibear loses creative points. Volibear is cool, but it's very unoriginal. It looks too much like the Volibear from League of Legends, like the normal splash art. But Volibear's normal legend art is so ugly that if the normal legend art wasn't so ugly, Volibear would be in D tier, but now it's in C tier. So she agreed with me on this one about the Volibear's legend art, which is very ugly, but I don't understand why Volibear is in C tier personally. I mean, Volibear should be at least in B tier, in my opinion. Yeah, I guess she didn't like that the Volibear was just the League of Legends Volibear from a different angle. But I mean, it's Volibear, so to me, it just looks cool, and I don't mind it being from League of Legends, because that's Volibear to me. Yasuo is okay. It's just a little basic. There's no wow or OMG factor in Yasuo. I think the normal Yasuo is actually pretty cool, so I would gladly just play with the normal legend skin, and I wouldn't pay extra for the alternate art. And she also mentioned the eyes, which don't make no sense. So we agree on the eyes. And then Lee Sin. Now, Lee Sin in C tier is a little bit crazy. I mean, I would put Lee Sin at least in B tier. So let's see what she has to say about Lee Sin. So Lee Sin looks a little bit rushed in my opinion. The character doesn't have much polish on it. The dragon is cool, but if the artistic choice was to look a little bit rough, you can still make it look better. The pose is pretty cool though. So in her opinion, the art looks a little bit too rushed. So I guess that's the reason why the dragon in the back doesn't look as cool as it should look, I guess. I'm not an artist, so I don't know how to comment on these artistic points. But yeah, the Lee Sin does look a little bit like unpolished. Then let's get down to the Sett and Jinx, which we both agreed on actually. So there were many things we agreed on here, but Volibear being almost D tier, that's crazy. So Sett, this art is just ugly, and I wouldn't pay for that. The normal legend looks cool enough, and I wouldn't pay for the alternate version. So basically, she's also saying that the normal legend is almost cooler than the alternate version, which is also true in my opinion. The alternate Sett is just looks a little lazy. The normal Jinx card is almost better looking. They could have put a little bit more effort into the alternate art, honestly. So the same with Sett and Lee Sin. She's saying that the Jinx alternate art was very effortless. The Jinx alternate art is just effortless. They could have put more effort into the Jinx alternate art, and the normal card is almost better looking. So she's saying that she likes the normal legend art over the alternate art. And she's also saying that the alternate art is very effortless, which, I don't know what to make of it because I'm not an artist. But it's cool to see that even if, for example, I'm not an artist, something looked off in the Sett, Jinx, and Lee Sin to a normal consumer. And now the artist is also saying that the Sett, Lee Sin, Jinx were a little bit rushed or effortless. So even a consumer can really notice if the art is like not up to the standards, at least compared to the other arts like Misfortune and Ahri and Kaisa. Now thank you to Clate58 for sharing her list. Well, she's my girlfriend, so I kinda made her do it. And if you made it this far, I think you're legally liable to subscribe. Don't quote me on that though.